Hey guys, welcome back. It's the midnight special. Anybody know that song? Baby, it's yours, all yours. If you want it tonight. I love TLC. Hold on a second. I'm sorry that it took me a minute. I had to get the thumbnail and all of that going. Oh, you know who TLC? I should have known you. I should have known Sam would know who TLC is. Ah, I love that song. I love all of TLC songs. Hello, hello, hello. Hey, Boodlebug. Hey, Michelle. Michelle Johnson. Nana Dragonfly. Aretha Bell. Welcome back. Welcome back. Boodlebug. Just Irish is back with us tonight. Crafty. Susie Q. Who? How you doing? Hang on. Hold on one second, guys. I gotta give me a second. I got something happening. Hold on 1 minute. All right. All right, all right, all right. Sorry about that. Hold on, guys. Sam's trying to get us the ratio. Are we trying to get a good ratio? Are you a good witch? Are you a bad witch? Or a witch a witch? Witch a witch, a wicked witch. Okay. Okay. Hey, Lizzie. Hey, Opal. Welcome, welcome. Luminous, welcome back. You said both? Which a witch of which? A good witch or a bad witch? Are you a good witch or are you a bad witch? All right. T Ty said, whatever you need. There you go. She's a sandwich. Yes, Kimmy, I didn't even think about that. She's a sandwich. You gotta have balance. You definitely gotta have balance. That's for sure. What's up, Detroit Rock City? How you doing? Are you trolling Detroit? Are you trolling with the cat in the box? It would have been even more hilarious if we had a rat in a box or a rat in a basket. A rat in a basket. Rat in a basket. Hi, hello, Connie Benefo. Love you too, sweetheart. I'm glad you're here. Starless Starbright. Bombshells? Yes. Starless Starbright. I think so. Sure do. Drop some bombshells about Kaylee's unaliving. Yep. Hold on, guys, 1 second. You could have had a grasshopper and it would have been a dragon. Oh my goodness. Yes. Which is which? A witch of which? Check your messenger. Yes, ma'am. Karen Mind. Hi. Karen Munn, I wanted to tell you because I didn't have a way. I need to find you back on Messenger, Karen. Karen, thank you so much. Oh, um, oh, you're so sweet, T Ty. All right, sweetheart, I will message you. Me and you will talk, okay? Because I don't know how to do it, but I will try. I'll try to figure it out for sure. Yeah, I mean that's awesome. I'm sure there is. I'm sure there is. Okay. Grammy the Great. Hi. Hey, Marlena. Hey, Lolly. It's drama. Is it Lolly? Okay. Hold on a minute. Let me check Messenger. Uh-oh. More drama, Lolly? No. Jeez. Where's the messenger at? Oh, bother. Why did hold on. Okay. Okay, send it again, Lolly, because it wouldn't let it. Lolly, now. Hi, Jeff H. Good to see you. Glenda says, "Oh, so what the Munchkins want to know is, are you a good witch or are you a bad witch?" Yes. Hi, Jeff. Good to see you. Lolly, I need you to go back in Messenger and resend what you tried to send because it didn't go through because I didn't, I don't, I don't know why it didn't go through, but it didn't. Hi, the amazing Tiff. How are you? Good to see you. Hey, wait, what? Kelsey, T Ty, Grammy the Great, Marlena. All right, guys. Lolly, Jeff H, Karen, thank you so much for sending Neil PayPal for his birthday. He did. For those of you that might have missed the live on the backup channel, Neil, his birthday was great today. It was absolutely Hey Starla. His birthday was absolutely amazing. Hey rapper. He was happy. It went well. He went on a shopping spree and yeah, he's good to go. Um, I want to say thank you again to each and every one of you guys for all of your help and for reaching out and for just everything you guys have done for us. It means an immense amount to me. I'm so grateful and I thank you. So, with that being said, I'm going to ask guys if you don't mind, take a second, click that thumbs up. We're going to have the same goal here as we had on the first stream. 500 thumbs up. Hey, Mischief. 500 thumbs up. So, the more thumbs up, the better the chances that we have of getting our numbers up. Hey, just Irish. So, if you want to support the channel, we do have the goal set and also members. If you want to become a member, we'd love to have you on board the green team. Struggle is real. Hey, girl. Oh my goodness. It's so good to see you. How are you, stranger? Welcome back. Hold on 1 minute. Well, uh we're trying to get there, but you have to go back to sleep now because you have school tomorrow. I know that you know just woke back up, but you do have to go back to sleep now. All right, I know that I keep asking you guys to hold on one more second. I do apologize. I got a child that woke up. Let me go get him to lay back down. Oh, please. Oh, Lord have mercy, guys. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to be like, I'm gonna have to cut the first part of this off. All right. I'm here. Okay, let's get started. I thought I knew I did. Wait, what says Brittany? Of my son had a son. I'm going to have him name him Neil. If your son, do you like that name? I love it. Oh, you just made my night. Can you do a quick overview about this case? Yes, I will, Retha. All right, all right. That really wait, what? That really is I'm flattered by that. You know, somebody was making fun of me the other day, right? Because I named him like we spelled his name that way. And somebody was making fun of me for it the other day. So I really I really appreciate the compliment and I'm glad that you like that. You like his name. I like it. I like it a lot. Um but yeah, they were giving me some hell about that the other day and I was like, "What's the big deal?" You know? I think it's cute. Oh, you're welcome, Retha. Okay. So, we're doing some true crime tonight. Well, in the wee hours of the morning, if you will. So, all right. So, for those of you that aren't familiar with the Idaho 4 case, this case is one, and thank you so much, Wait What, for the super chat. This case is one that I hold near and dear to me because a lot of us went through it. We, you know, when I say went through it, like we covered this extensively for a long time. Thank you, Detroit Rock City. Oh, I love it since I heard you say it and spell it. Oh, I love you too. Thank you. Y'all, what is with you guys tonight? Y'all are being so sweet. Thank you. I love you guys too. Thank you so much. All right. So let me hold on, let me pull up real quick. Um 1 minute. Oh, please. So, hey Nana.
Hey, sweetheart.
So, to give Retha and everybody else a brief overview of what happened during the Idaho 4 case, basically, November of 2022, November November the 13th to be exact, 2022, four University of Idaho students, Kaylee Goncalves, Madison Mogan, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin were found stabbed to death in their off-campus home. Um, it was basically investigated immediately as a homicide, obviously, right? And Brian Koberger, 30 years old, was charged with their homicide. He was arrested in Pennsylvania and is facing 4 counts of first degree homicide. This case is set to go to trial, potential death penalty sentence. The Here, let's do this summary and timeline because I think this is the best way to go through with it just in case because I know that there are some people that aren't familiar. These kids were gorgeous. Every single one of them looked like, little Abercrombie model kids. So it says, hold on a minute. The unaliving of four University of Idaho students in mid-November at an off-campus residence stunned the small community of Moscow, where investigators grappled with what the town's police chief would later describe as a quote, very complex case. No suspect was immediately named in the deaths of the housemates Madison Mogan, 21, Kaylee Goncalves, 22 or 21 as well, and Xana Kernodle, 20, as well as Kernodle's boyfriend, Ethan Chapin, who was also 20, nor was an unalived weapon believed to be a large fixed blade knife found. So then here you have all four of them. Beautiful. Every one of them are beautiful. It's absolutely heartbreaking what happened to them. Give me 1 minute. All right. But the intense scrutiny on the unsolved slayings sparked thousands of tips to the FBI. Then, nearly 7 weeks later, with the community on edge and speculation swirling about who could commit such violence, people announced an arrest in Pennsylvania of a doctoral student in criminal justice. The suspect, Brian Koberger, is scheduled to go to trial on August the 11th, and here's a timeline of the key moments of the case. On November 12th, 2022, starting around 9 p.m., Kernodle and Chapin are seen at a party at Chapin's fraternity, Sigma Chi, a short walk from the King Road apartment house where the roommates lived, according to investigators. Hold on. Let me let mischief up. All right. It says, uh, that night, Gonsalves uploads pictures to her Instagram account featuring photos of the friends with the caption, one lucky girl to be surrounded by these people every day. At about 10 p.m., Gonsalves and Mogan go to a sports bar in Moscow called the Corner Club. November the 13th, at about 1:30 a.m., Gonsalves and Mogan are seen ordering from a nearby food truck, according to the truck's live stream. And then here, I don't know why they blurred them out. Of all the people, they blurred them out. But there's Mogan and Kernodle. I don't know why they did that. Investigators say that Kernodle and Chapin returned. I said I mean, Madison and Kaylee. You can't see them. Why would they blur them out, y'all? That makes absolutely no sense out of everybody. They blurred the two victims out. Oh, I know, MS. It has gone by fast. This is brief, y'all, and then we'll get to the interview. Investigators say that Kernodle and Chapin returned to their three-level house on King Road at about 1:45 a.m., while Gonsalves and Mogan took a car ride home, arriving at about 1:56 a.m. Meanwhile, two other housemates who had gone out that night had arrived home before the others at about 1 a.m., Moscow police say. At about 1:58 a.m., a 911 call is placed on the cell phone of one of the other housemates requesting assistance for an quote unconscious person. Police alert the public about the deaths in a news release, and while they say that no one is in custody, they do not believe that there is an ongoing community risk based on the information gathered during the preliminary investigation. November the 16th, with no suspect apprehended, Moscow police walked back previous comments that there was no threat to the largely rural, small city of almost 26,000 residents. Quote, we do not believe or we do not have a suspect at this time, and that individual is still out there, Moscow Police Chief James Fry says at a news conference. He adds that the more Then 25 investigators with the Idaho State Police and the FBI are assisting in the case. People place flowers at the memorial in front of the campus entrance at November the 13th. Preliminary autopsy results showed that the four victims were likely attacked with a large knife and died sometime after 2 a.m. from multiple stab wounds. Uh, Latah County Coroner Kathy Mabbitt says she describes their wounds as pretty extensive. On November the 18th, police say that the victims were most likely asleep when they were slain, and some of them had defensive wounds. There was also no signs of SA. Meanwhile, detectives seized the contents of three dumpsters near the home and search for possible evidence. And they contact local businesses to determine if the knife had recently been purchased. On November 30th, a vigil is held at the University of Idaho in honor of the victims, with some of the family members in attendance. Quote, "We are going to get our justice," Stephen Goncalves, Kaylee's father, says, adding that his daughter and Mogan had been best friends since sixth grade and he had learned that they were in the same bed when they were unalived. They went to high school together. Then they started looking at colleges. They came here together. They eventually got into the same apartment together, he said, and in the end, they died together. December 1st, 2022, Moscow police reaffirmed that the quadruple homicide was part of a targeted attack after authorities appeared to suggest the opposite. We remain consistent in our belief that this was indeed a targeted attack, but we have not concluded if the target was the residents or its occupants, a police spokesperson says. The department also continues to dispel online rumors and speculation, and it says that it has cleared certain people seen interacting with Goncalves and Mogan on the evening that they were unalived. Police also say that the two housemates who were home during the attack had been sleeping that night, which we find out that was not true, you guys. Why did the police tell us that they were sleeping that night? So, for those of you that don't know this story, we got a boatload of evidence now. And we find out that not only were the roommates not sleeping, but they sent each other messages all night and they were up like on Snapchat taking pictures of themselves. Why did law enforcement tell us that they were sleeping?
I don't I don't know why, but maybe it was just to because they don't have to tell us everything.
Yeah, that's true. Sam, they told us from the beginning that those girls were sleeping. Oh, maybe so, but I don't know though because so Angie says they didn't want the unaliver to know that they had seen him. In my opinion, I don't know though because didn't Dylan say that he looked her in the eyes?
Yep.
DM, oh yes, Sam. DM was taking Snapchat photos. They both were like they called their parents that in the early morning hours. Didn't tell their parents anything had happened. It's wild. All right, so all right, December the 2nd, 2022, the two housemates, Bethany Funk and Dylan Mortensen, released letters saying that they are struggling to accept why the lives of four beautiful people were taken so brutally. On December the 5th, 2022, detectives focused on Chapin's and Kernodle's activities on the evening that they were unalived and asked the public for information about the nearly 5 hours from when the couples arrived at the Sigma Chi party. So the apartment to the apartment house on King Road. Sorry guys, I was trying to clean my glasses, so I botched that. Police say that they recognize how frustrating the lack of news can be for the families and the public, but they insist that they do not want to jeopardize the case. Let Nana back up. All right. Quote, we are at the point of the investigation where we still gather information. We're still gathering tips. We're still gathering evidence. We're still doing everything that we need to do, Fry says in a video posted online. Police tape surrounds the house where 4 students were slain. I cannot believe this house is gone. I still can't get over that.
Yeah. Mm. I think that has to do with the college money.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
December the 7th, 2022. Police begin removing personal items of the victims from the apartment house and returning them to the families. They also announce what appears to be an integral part of the investigation. They say that they are looking to speak with any occupants of a white Hyundai Elantra from 2011 to 2013 with unknown license plates. They do not say whether they believe that the driver is linked to the unaliver, but they say that the people may have, quote, critical information to share. December 15th, 2022. Christy Goncalves, Kaylee's mother, expresses frustration during an interview with NBC's Today Show that she only learned about the police interest in the Hyundai Elantra when the rest of the public did, underscoring how some victims' families feel, quote, left in the dark. December 21st, Chief Fry tells NBC News that his department is in daily contact with the families and, quote, we ask them to be patient as the investigation progresses. The police chief again insists that the investigation is not a cold case, and our end goal is to bring somebody to justice for those families and for those victims. Here we go. December 30th, 2022. Police announce an arrest of a suspect, Brian Christopher Koberger, 28, a resident of Pullman, Washington, then a doctoral student at Washington State University. He is apprehended in northeastern Pennsylvania, about 2,500 miles from the Idaho campus, and charged with 4 counts of first-degree unaliving and burglary. According to law enforcement sources, DNA evidence played a key role in linking the unalivings to Koberger. At a news conference, Chief Fry says he believes Koberger is the only suspect.
Last night, in conjunction with the Pennsylvania State Police, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, detectives arrested 28-year-old Brian Christopher Koberger
He's so
in
nervous.
Albrightsville, Pennsylvania, on a warrant for murders of Ethan, Zana, Madison, and Kaylee. I want to personally thank these agencies for their assistance in this case. Koberger resides in Pullman, Washington, and is a graduate student at Washington State University. We will provide as much information as we can about the extradition to Idaho and the criminal process. However, due to Idaho state law, we are limited in what information we can release today until Koberger has his initial appearance in Idaho court. I want to express my appreciation to our local community, the people of Idaho, and those throughout our nation who provided information to help us investigate these murders has been very impressive. We've received over 19,000 tips, and we've conducted over 300 interviews. To recap this case, on the evening of November 12th, Kaylee and Madison arrived home at about 1:56 a.m. after visiting a local bar and street food vendor. Ethan and Xana were at the Sigma Chi house before arriving home around 1:45 a.m. The two surviving roommates had also been in the community but returned around 1 a.m. On the morning of November 13th, a 911 call was made at 11:58 a.m. reporting an unconscious person at the residence. The call came from inside the home from one of the surviving roommates' cell phones. Moscow police responded and found 2 victims on the 2nd floor and 2 victims on the 3rd floor. On November 17th, autopsies were conducted and the Latah County coroner confirmed the identity of the 4 victims. The cause and manner of death was homicide by stabbing. Some had defensive wounds, and each had been stabbed multiple times. These murders have shaken our community, and no arrest will ever bring back these young students. However, we do believe justice will be found through the criminal process. This was a very complex and extensive case. We had developed a clear picture over time, and we stand assured that the work is not done, but be assured the work is not done. This is just started.
When we started making furniture, starting a business felt overwhelming, and that's when I found Swift Filings. Their services gave me confidence that my business was set up the right way.
All right. He was nervous, but I thought it would give you a little refresher to hear that. So then it says, the public defender of Monroe County, Pennsylvania, where Koberger is being held, says that the suspect intends to waive his extradition hearing to face charges in Idaho. So then there he was in Pennsylvania. And I remember the first time we all saw him, like, everybody was like, bro's eyes are scary. Pretty freaky. Koberger appears in court and agrees to return to Idaho. Koberger is flown across country in a Pennsylvania state police plane and booked into the Latah County, Idaho jail. January the 5th, 2023, Koberger makes his first appearance in the Idaho court and is ordered held without bail. Another pretrial hearing is set for January the 12th. Investigators say that male DNA discovered on a knife sheath was used to link Koberger to the crime scene and that they had been tracking his car, a white Hyundai Elantra, and cell phone use in the area, according to the newly released court documents. A list of items seized from a search warrant for Koberger's Pullman, Washington apartment is made public. The belongings include a pillow with a, quote, reddish brown stain, a disposable glove, and at least a dozen strands of hair. February 20. All right, give me just a second, guys.
That dozen strands of hair was new to me. I thought they only found the dog hair in his vacuum cleaner.
Oh, I don't know. See, the police don't have to tell us everything.
What do you think,
I didn't
Mister?
know they found hair there either. I knew they found dog hair, I thought, but that
Yeah,
was
but
it.
I
Yeah.
didn't know the dozen strands of hair. Wow. I mean, they didn't say whose hair it was.
Right, they didn't.
Could have been people that lived in the apartment before or whatever. You never know, but I never heard that before. That's interesting. You feeling any better, Mischief? Probably not.
No, I won't feel better until I get my surgery.
I know you said that. I was just hoping.
I see the surgeon on Friday, I think. Yes, Friday, the 2nd.
Hey, good. Keep us in touch.
I've been talking to you guys from the hospital.
Are you in the hospital right now?
No, not now, but I
Oh.
will be. Because it's like a 5 to a 7-day stay
Mm-hmm.
after the surgery. Because of where it's at.
Yeah, I know, honey. I'm so sorry. Hmm.
Did she get a call? Is that what happened?
I don't know.
I think
No
she
worries.
did. I think her phone rang.
Oh, okay.
Could be one of her kids. Ooh, it's cold here tonight. It's like 48 degrees.
Really?
Yes, I'm cold. It's not 48 in the house, but it's just damp and chilly. It's not even raining though. I don't know
I have
why.
never turned my air or heat on. I
Oh,
don't know how many months.
our heat comes on probably October.
Yeah, I'm really frugal with that. My bills have been $77 a month. I love it.
Jesus.
I'm loving it. It's 60
Ours
here
runs
right now.
about $600 a month to heat.
Oh God, I couldn't do it.
We have central air too, so
Yeah, I couldn't do it. I think my
and we
highest
keep
one
the
was
house
200
like
and
at
something.
68 to 69 all year long.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. That's more than my house payment. Whew.
Oh Lord.
I don't know what happened to her. I'm sorry.
She'll be back in a minute.
Yeah, she will.
Yeah, Sandwich. He flew out there to help him drive back for the holidays over the winter break.
And he's
And the
28
same
years
day
old.
he left is the
Yeah.
same day that other guy was unalived by
Culpacker.
the police.
Yeah. What was his name?
I don't
Kolpak or
remember. Yeah, something like that. Yep.
his friend that lived in the same building?
They lived in the same building?
Well, they lived in the same complex, didn't they?
I have no idea.
I thought they did.
I
could be
know
wrong.
Kohlberger got that text that it was a shelter in place tax that goes out.
Yeah. I mean, this has been so long going that I'm starting to mix some things in with.
I know.
It's just been.
I just want all this evil just to stop. I mean, it's just it can be too
One
much.
person for the family and for these children.
Yeah.
I know they're not children, but to me they are.
They were babies.
Yeah.
Just old enough to drink. I mean, they were babies still.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could vote. They could go in the military if they wanted. They could do a lot of things because technically they were adults, but they were still babies.
It's hard to even believe or remember when I was 21, or 20.
Oh, God. Lord help us all. When I was, no, actually, when I was in my 20s, I had my kids, so I was a stay-at-home mom.
I didn't have mine till I was 28, so I had fun. Let me say I had fun before I had my child. I was like them girls. I had 5 roommates. Oh, the trouble we got into.
Kelsey, I haven't seen it either. I'm waiting to see it. Brittany told me about it earlier today. She texted me about it, and I haven't seen it.
What's that?
The interview with Steve Goncalves.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either. Or maybe I have and I don't remember. He's done a lot of them, but
Oh, teenage problems. I am so sorry, you guys.
I'm sorry.
I try to do my true crime and it's like one thing after another. Okay, so we pretty much, they got the search warrant. I'm going to skip a little. I don't think these small details really matter right now. Some of the families speak out in July of 2023. They speak against the university's Idaho because they decided they wanted to demolish. Prosecutors say that they will seek the death penalty against Koberger if he is convicted, writing in court filings that aggravating circumstances in the especially heinous unalivings that led to the decision. Some families of the victims speak out against the University of Idaho's plans to demolish the King Road residence before the start of the fall semester on August the 21st. Quote, the home itself is an enormous evidentiary value as well as being the largest and one of the most important pieces of evidence in the case, an attorney for the Goncalves family tells Idaho Statesman. But the school responds that neither the prosecution nor the defense is objecting to the demolition. Reversing the course, the University of Idaho says it will halt tearing down King Road. Okay, well, that changed real fast. Let's see. 1 year since the slaying. By December the 28th, almost, a little over a year later, they decide to get rid of the house in a swift decision. King Road House is demolished despite objections from 2 of the families, victims' families, who said that said it should remain standing for trial in the event that it would help understand what happened. But Latah County prosecutors tell the University of Idaho in an email from December 22nd that the current condition of the premises is so substantially different than the time of the homicides that what the jury would view would not be authorized. Here's the
Wait a
home.
minute.
Today,
Wait a minute.
demolition begins on.
Yes.
So you're telling me what happened? Did the whole inside of the house change around?
That's what I don't
I
understand.
mean,
I don't get it either.
Okay.
That never made sense to me because
It
this is what I
doesn't make
said,
any
right?
sense. It doesn't. I think it was because of the school.
Yep. Here's my thoughts, right? Or here's what I would argue in the event that they're saying, even let's say that the entire home, right, was hollowed out, right? And it's just a shell. Even if that were the case, the entire thing was just completely hollowed out. It's still there. The structure is still there. You can still go in and see, like there's nothing like being inside the place. If me and Mischief went in there, if I was a juror, what I would want to do is have Mischief go upstairs while I'm downstairs. I'd get her to, maybe run around and let me
Mhm.
see how loud it is when somebody's
Yep.
running around upstairs,
Yep.
or have Mischief scream from the other room. You can't do that kind of stuff, guys, in a because they keep saying that
Demolished
you have
house.
a virtual, like the jurors will have a virtual tour. That you can't get that same thing from a virtual tour, and that's questions that I have myself. I would love to hear how the sound travels in that home, how these girls didn't hear that. I would love to hear what it sounds like when somebody walks up the stairs. Like, I'd like to stand in Dylan's room and listen to somebody run up the stairs. Yes, to see if the thuds could be heard. To see outside from the angle of where the windows are. There's so many things that they just ruined. And I think, like Mischief said, it's because they wanted the damn buildings taken down. The
Mhm.
school wanted it.
Right, because
Yep.
the kids were not going to come back to school the next season because I mean, it was
It's an eyesore on the
right. I
university.
didn't want to say that, but yeah, it's a nice story. Yeah,
That's exactly what it is.
yeah.
And there's a lot of money in that little tiny town, trust me, that comes from that university. A lot of money. There's nothing but farmers around there. It's just, I don't like it. Brittany, I'm with you. I don't like it.
Mm-mm.
They should have left it up just until after the trial.
Because listen, if it doesn't have that much impact, then what's the harm of letting
Exactly.
it stay up? And the way that I've always seen it is, if one family, if one of the victims' families wanted it to stay up, then it should have stayed up.
Exactly.
Hey, a policeman's daughter, good to see you. Yes, or just to put your eyes on the actual layout. 100%. Hey, Deb Vlogs. Hey, Schmoody. Nice to see you. Welcome, Beach Bum. Welcome, KDP. KDP says they took most of Maddie's wall and the stairs, but I believe it still held value for jurors to see what the perp could. Why did they take the stairs? Was that for evidence?
Probably blood evidence. Oh, sorry.
No,
Red
you're good. I said
evidence.
it too. Hey, Megan. Guys, can you do me a favor and click that thumbs up? Megan, can you look and see what number the thumbs up ratio is? And Connie Beneful. Oh, now you make me feel bad that I lectured you earlier. Thank you, Connie. I appreciate it. You know what else? Not even just that you super chatted. Thank you for not getting mad at me earlier and staying with me. I know you don't like the drama. I don't like the drama either, y'all. I don't like the drama either. But it does, I gotta say, it does feel nice to have some true crime back, like talking about a case. So thank you. Thank you, Connie. That's very sweet of you. All right, we got 181 thumbs up. Oh, we can do better than that. Let's go. Let's do this. All right. Thank you, Connie. All right, here we go. I'm going to show this real quick.
In the house where 4 University of Idaho students were murdered in November of 2022. The families of the victims who have fought to keep the house standing, calling this decision, quote, madness. NBC News correspondent Dana Griffin joins us now. Dana, one of the families of the victims has made this last-minute plea to the prosecutor's office in the University of Idaho as well to stop this demolition. Why don't they want it torn down, and why is the university moving forward?
Yeah, Jacob, they don't want it torn down because they say there could be some key answers that could be provided to a jury when this goes to trial. Keep in mind, a jury date has yet to be set. They say that they want to know information about this house, and they want the jury to get a better perspective of what could the surviving roommates see, what could they hear, depending if they were on the first floor or the third floor. They want to know what could Brian Kohlberger see from outside of that home if he's the alleged suspect here. If he was in fact the person outside that home, what could he see through the windows? They felt that was really important, but the university says that this was the right time to do this. It's part of the community's healing, and that's why they moved forward with this demolition.
And Dana, the trial against Kohlberger has already been delayed for several months, I think, but he could finally stand trial this summer. What's the latest in the case itself?
So the state has requested a 6-week summer trial, in part because there's going to be a lot of national attention on this case. There's a high school right across from the courthouse, and also they understand that hotel rooms fill up very quickly, especially when you've got college sports happening. They want to make sure that kids aren't in school at the universities, and it would kind of limit the exposure for this really small town that is kind of under this national microscope right now and has been since last year. So the judge is going to weigh in on that. And also, Jacob, there's the potential that this case could be moved to a much larger city like Boise, Idaho,
which it did.
If the defense requests it. And the judge could likely take that under consideration just because of all the attention this case has garnered. And the defense wants to get a fair trial.
Can you accept any peace deal that is cut?
Which it did indeed get moved to Boise, which is why it's no longer in judge's chambers, and we no longer have a gag on it. So the Goncalves and Kernodle families released a statement voicing their frustrations after the judge at a hearing suggests that the trial will likely not begin until 2025, which that's where we're at now. Kohlberger's lawyers file an updated alibi defense saying that the cell tower data will show he liked to take late night drives along the Washington-Idaho border but was miles away when the victims were unalived. They said that they intend to rely on testimony at the trial from cell tower data expert Cy Ray. The hearing rescheduled for June over whether to move the trial out of Latah County is delayed. Let's see. I'm just going through. So in a marathon hearing, Hippler says he must consider several motions that will shape the trial, including whether to allow certain text messages, a 911 call, a 3D model of the apartment house, and the term bushy eyebrows. The defense mentions a tip of an alternate suspect. So there's where we're at in the latest updates. So now, thank you again, Connie. That was very sweet of you. How is it fair without the house? I agree. Ben says, I have a gag order on my ex. Problem is, she doesn't gag. Just kidding. Ben? Ben. All right, how you doing, Mr. Ben George? All right, let's see. So I think, is it the Drunk Turkey Show who did the latest Steve?
I think that's what you told me today.
Huh?
I believe that's what you told me today. It was Drunk Turkey. I didn't go and look.
Yeah, I think it's Drunk Turkey. I am so excited for this. And let me tell you something. I have saved myself for you guys. I wanted to go watch it really bad, but I didn't. I started to play it last night and I caught myself. So this will be for the first for me too. All right. Shout out to Daniel from the Drunk Turkey Show. He is really doing his thing.
Yep. I like them. They're really good.
More baseless claims. Here we go. 59,000 views on the Goncalves interview. All right, here we go.
Welcome everybody. Steve Goncalves, the father of Kaylee Goncalves. How are you doing, my man? How's it going?
Doing good. It's been a good day. I just got off being on call, so it's nice to get my schedule back. And you know, it's a good day. And it's almost summer here in North Idaho. Weather's looking nice, so it's nice. It's nice, and I got good news today, so it's a good day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's it sounds good. It's out here in Texas. It's getting warm, and so I can imagine it's I guess a little bit cooler up there up in northern Idaho. You know, you mentioned some good news today. I'm not sure how much you can go into, but more or less, what kind of news would that be?
We got some word that there was some paperwork that came out. I believe there were subpoenas, but don't quote me on that. I don't know exactly what they were, but there's paperwork that came out that asked people to be prepared to go to court. So take that as a sign that Hitler's tight schedule is something he put together, and it looks like it's gonna happen. I'm kind of reading between the lines a little bit, but you know, I can't say that that's a bad sign. So I'm glad that it's another thing that made this day a pretty good day.
Yes, sir. You know, I've been excited. It's wrong. I've been liking what I've seen out of Judge Hitler. You know, not to say anything bad against Judge John Judge. It's just there's a different attitude, a different confidence, a different way of controlling the court. Have you noticed a difference? And I know you were a little bit against the move to Ada County. Do you feel the same way now?
You know, you can have both things, right? You can be disappointed that the community that was hurt the most isn't the one that's able to see the justice. And I don't want to live in a country or a world where only our biggest societies are the ones that are able to orchestrate justice. You know, you don't want to be in a situation where you have to be in a big city for you to
I agree with
be
that.
able to have the facilities and the resources to actually have justice. I think that's a bad message, and I'm still against that. But it is what it is. Ottawa County, they didn't have the resources. They couldn't get it done. It was nothing against Hitler, but that courtroom was a fraction of the size of the one we're going to. I mean, it didn't even have an elevator. This one has an elevator of at least, I'm going to say 6 floors. I haven't been on all of them. I typically just go straight to Hitler's, which is on the 5th floor, and I get out there and go straight to his court. So the security, all the different things that they have, there's a lot that goes into a case that gets the attention of the nation. So I was disappointed that we had to move it, but I believed in the leadership of the state of Idaho that they would go out and find somebody who was built for.
Thank you, Noelle. I appreciate that so much. She's like number 198. She says, hi, Britt and all. Hello. Thank you so much for that. That's really, really generous of you. I appreciate that. And it's really good to see you. Thank you for joining us tonight. We are just going over Steve Goncalves' interview with Drunk Turkey. So, which this is going to kickstart some Idaho cases to come. Like, we're going to be talking more about this. So thank you so much, Noelle. Glad you're here. You're so sweet. Natalie from California says it's going to be a huge courtroom, so lots of press will get in to be there, hopefully. Listen, I I I really, I don't usually record. I mean, not record, I'm sorry. I usually don't stream cases, but this may be one that I actually stream. Like, I may, every morning get up and stream it. So, all right, here we go.
For this case, and that's exactly what happened. They went and found somebody who was understood the struggles that we were going through, and we got a leader that could go in there and clarify and understood the law, could figure it out on the fly. And you see that all the time. I mean, even presents logical arguments that I've been hoping somebody would, which just speeds the whole processes up. Otherwise, you send everyone home, then they build the arguments, and then they come back and they see something that could have been spoken right then and there. So I'm definitely happy with Hippler, and I think he's more than fair. And things are moving. Things are moving. It felt like we went 2 years without anything happening. So
bless his
I'm
heart.
glad to be in a situation where this isn't every day of my life. Hopefully we don't go past 3 years, and we get to the bottom of this.
Yeah, I agree 100%. One of the things that I've really thought that.
Just real quick, Kelsey says, "How are y'all feeling about the judge?" I got to tell you, I didn't know how I felt about him at first, because he kind of seemed like a bit of a hole, for lack of better words. But I like him. I like him now. It took he rubbed off on me, right? Like yeah, I think he takes no bull crap, and I think he's quick. He knows what he wants to do, and he's going to get the job done. I mean, I have to say that I love that. Yes, I got to say that too. I'll take him over a judge any day, because Judge just didn't let us have anything, right? Grandma says she loves him. Natalie says, I love that he's given us so much. Robin says, I have 100% confidence in this judge. He is no nonsense. So I think we're all in agreement.
I think so.
Yeah, I like him. What do you ladies think? Y'all like him too?
Yes, I like him.
Yeah, much better than the other one.
He did at first rub me the wrong way too. I was like, damn, he is a bit of an ass.
Right? I was like,
I did. I was like, the state might be in trouble. But
yeah.
It's like some of the things that he has decided on, like, I was like, well, yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
How could you not? It was the, I can't remember what it was. Something that they went to get the warrant for, to seize something. And he was like, well, if you didn't have this, then, it was the knife sheath.
Yeah.
If you didn't have cutting, you wouldn't have had the knife sheath. There would have been no reason for it. So, yeah, I mean, I like him. I do.
Yeah, I do too.
This is going to be a good trial to watch, Brittany.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
With you while you go and run and pick up the boys. That's fine. I could sit up on panel with you during the daytime with that stuff.
Yeah, this is going to be a group effort. We'll all do it together for sure.
Yeah.
Otto says the judge has given us all the information too. So many new documents to explain much. I hope you all get to read the document. Oh yeah. We will be going through it. Sinner, how are you? Thank you. Steve is such a genuine man. New judge is solid. I've watched a few of his other trials. Okay, I didn't know you were into true crime like that. Look at that. Noelle, again? Noelle, you are spoiling me. In my opinion, I think this case will go down in history. Yep, I do too. Oh, for sure. I think it already has, honestly. And you know what? And I might eat my words later. It could be a pretty cut and dry case, but I'm going to be real with y'all. I think that this trial is going to be like, uh, we're going to hear a lot of stuff that I think there's going to be a lot of, shocking stuff come out in the trial. I really do. I
Me
believe
too.
that there's going to be things that we don't know about. Sinner, it's good to see you. I hope you're doing good, buddy.
Can I ask you
Uh,
something, Brent?
huh?
Have you changed your mind a little bit?
No.
No?
No. No, I
Okay.
don't no, I've never necessarily thought that he was innocent, but I don't know that I don't know. I'm like I'm torn. I'm so torn with this one.
I think they
I
got
just
the right guy. I read the court documents. I think they got the right guy.
it's just with the I just when it comes to a death penalty case, but you better come with everything armed and ready to go. I guess is what I'm saying. But
Well, that's
Yes, get
understandable.
Walker.
Yeah.
sorry I walked away a bit. Which trial is this? Idaho. Yes. Mhm. All right, let's keep going.
Has made a big difference in this case is the transparency that's also been possessed through this case and now through Judge Hippler. And how do you feel about the transparency, the information that is now going through? I mean, this is a lot of information. We've had 911 calls, we've had text messages, we've had a lot of things that have come out recently that were sealed. As a family member of a victim, how do you see that information coming out, and how does it make you feel?
I'm not a fan of gag orders. When we first got one on us, we did a little research on them. We found out like the origins of them that we found in the United States went back to the 1800s, and they were used to basically silence the legal representation of unions. So when they started hiring lawyers with their fees and started to be able to have a lawyer tell them, hey, these mines that we're going into aren't safe. The whole bird, canary, and the gold mine.
Mm-hmm.
That goes back to these guys. They would go down there, and when the bird died, they ran. That was their safety. So they hired lawyers, and then these lawyers started. TV wasn't a thing. They went to the local newspaper and started saying and describing the conditions. And one of the legals of the time said, "You need to shut him up. You got to shut those lawyers up." So they made a gag order. So they're not really. I'm not a fan of them. I don't like them at all. I think the truth coming from the court, the facts as they are, you're still going to have jury members that decide what those ultimate facts are. But hiding information in the sake of thinking that you can control the narrative, I don't. Maybe when you had 3 news channels back in the day, when I was a kid, you had like ABC, CBS, and NBC, and that was it. But those days are gone. I mean, everybody's you got these people that think he's innocent, and you got these people that think he's guilty, and there's every view in between. So you're not going to hear just one narrative. You're not going to hear 3 stations saying that he's guilty. And that was just one reason of a gag order, where they basically said that this individual couldn't get a fair trial. But like I said, the gag order goes back to suppressing a lot of truth. And I don't want to live in a country where we have to hide the truth as we know it, the facts that are found in an investigation. We have somebody who's been in jail for 3.5 years. You should have a lot of evidence, and society should agree that evidence is sound enough that we can keep these people off the streets. Otherwise, you release them on bail. So I think our case, a lot of people try to say he's innocent until proven guilty. That's true. That's true in the most generic way. But we do have a grand jury, and that grand jury did an indictment, and that indictment basically pulled him off the streets. So I remind people, I remind my children that we don't have like an innocent person in jail, that there is no evidence. We actually do have somebody in jail with a bunch of evidence. And if he doesn't have answers for that evidence, I believe the case is over.
Yeah, no, there's actually quite a bit of evidence against him that we know about. I'm sure there's even more we don't. You know, I think a lot of people look at the probable cause affidavit and say, hey, well, this has a lot of the information. And at the time, it probably did, but not so much anymore. I mean, the people.
Oh, snap, haunting hope. Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary. Thank you so much. Look at us. She says, look, it's our anniversary. Love you, babe. Love you too. Thank you so much for staying with me and putting up with my bullshit for freaking 12 months. You deserve an award, as do all of you fine people in chat for putting up with me. I appreciate it so much. Hope you are amazing. Thank you so much. That means so much to me. Otto, thank you. Thank you for wishing Neil a happy birthday. Thank you to everybody who's spoiled my baby as well. You guys are amazing. Y'all made his day even better. And yeah, it really means a lot. I thank you. All right. Let's keep it rolling. This train gonna keep on rolling. His mother is fighting to have death penalty taken off the table. 12 months is like 10-year marriage. Oh, no, you didn't. 12 months is like a 10-year marriage around here. Ain't that the truth? Hey, Michelle. Good to see you. I'm glad you're here. Even in bed, you're here. Boston. Shoot, ask Boston. Boston's been with my ass for almost 3 years. I gotta say, I'm loving getting back to true crime discussions, Britt. This is where you shine, girly. Aw, thank you. I appreciate it.
PCA was developed in probably 9 days from the moment that they, got his name to the moment that they put him in handcuffs. And so a lot more time has gone since then. And, well, let's kind of get back into it. Let's go to the beginning. A lot of people struggle with that night. Why that night? And a lot of folks have struggled with, if this was a guy that was trying to commit the perfect crime, he would have noticed a new vehicle that was Kaylee's. Maybe he didn't know who it was. She had not been there for a while. A lot of people speculate that she'd moved out and there was nothing there anymore. Is that the case when it comes to what she was still living there or not?
She was spending way more time at our house. So depending on who this person was after, he may have chosen the day because that she was there. Because the previous 2 weeks she had been at our home and had been taking care of stuff. People that don't know the area, that community, I think, gets around 90,000 when it's full in term between WSU and UI. But when they're out, it drops down to like 20,000 people. So what that means is,
remember I told you that?
And you're one of these kids being a barista or working on
Yep,
kits,
sure do.
The money's gone. It dries up. So they all get out of town once school's out. So, she was up here, hustling, she can go back to her barista job. I know other kids, my son, Jack, they come up here and as long as you don't burn your employer, you give them a call and you can pick up a shift at any drop of a hat. And we don't have the seasonal flows out like they do, so they could come up here and make good money. So I don't think she was there that much. And he had stalked that place out 23 times at least that we know of. We know he'd done more than that. There's some surveillance that shows that some of the drop of a hat. And we don't have the seasonal flows out like they barista or WSU and UI. Don't know the area because that she was there. because at our house, so
There was nothing there anymore. Is that the case when it comes to what she was still living there or not?
she was spending way more time at our house. So depending on who this person was after, he may have chosen the date because that she was there, because the previous 2 weeks she had been at our home and had been taking care of stuff. People that don't know the area, that community I think gets around 90,000 when it's full in term between WSU and UI, but when they're out, it drops down to like 20,000 people. So what that means is if you're a local and you're one of these kids being a barista or working on tips, the money's gone. It dries up. So they all get out of town once school's out. So, she was up here, hustling, doing, she can go back to her barista job. I know other kids, my son, Jack, they come up here and as long as you don't burn your employer, you give them a call and you can pick up a shift at any drop of a hat. And we don't have the seasonal flows out like they do, so they could come up here and make good money. So I don't think she was there that much. And he had stocked that place out 23 times at least that we know of. We know he
I'm trying to make sense of what he's saying. Kaylee wasn't there that much.
Yes, that's what he's
So
saying.
she was going back home mostly?
Yes.
Right.
Huh, okay. Because
Because
I've
she
always
couldn't make the
thought that
money.
he was, like, stalking one of them. And Kaylee's always been the one that I thought he stalked, honestly. Because, if you guys remember, and for those of you that haven't kept up with this, um, a lot of us have questioned if one of the girls were targeted. And I always assumed that because he went upstairs first, it was one of the two. And I always thought it was Kaylee specifically because, um, thank you, happy holidays. Madison had a boyfriend and she was gone all summer long. So like if he was stalking one of them, Madison wasn't even there that over the summer where when he was going past the house. Missouri Butterfly, thank you for being a member for 17 months. Look at that. Thank you so much. Thanks for the laughs when my pain is so unbearable. You're very welcome.
But if you think about it, Brittany, they didn't have to be there for him to stalk the house. He was stalking the house, if it was him, to possibly figure out how he was going to do it. And then he waited for the right moment when they all were going to be there.
Yeah.
Just my opinion.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I don't know. It's definitely interesting. Where does it say that he stalked? I don't know that it says that he stalked. I I just assumed that he did.
Didn't Steve just say he stopped? Well, he went by so many times just a second ago.
Yeah.
But Boston's right. They didn't say he stalked them, but he did
No,
go by their house numerous times. But I
I
mean,
didn't
let
mean
me
they stalked
explain.
them.
For him
He
to
just,
go down to the valley, he has to drive within maybe 3 blocks of their house. The main road is about 3 blocks from their house.
yeah, it doesn't
So
have to mean
he's
he
gonna
stalked
go
them. He
by if
staked
he
it
goes
out.
down to the valley, like when he went down to go shopping down in Clarkston and Lewiston. So I mean, it's just weird. I don't know. I don't know if the guy did it. I don't know if he don't know if he didn't, but obviously they didn't just pick him out of nowhere.
I guess we'll see in the trial.
Sorry, Brittany.
Oh, no, you're good. You're good. I like the conversation. Listen. Hey, domestic pinup. All right, let's keep going.
Done more than that. There's some surveillance that shows that some of the days that he was there, he didn't have his phone on. You know, the people got hung up, and even myself, over the stalking. The stalking in Idaho is defined as a certain profile. He was definitely stalking, surveilling, whatever whatever definition you want. That he didn't have reasons to be in that location within 100 yards, and I can guarantee you they've checked his bank records and seen if he was actually shopping. Like he, like some people are just naive and stupid. They want to be stupid. You know, they want to believe myths and fairy tales and be lied to. I don't have any time for those type of people. So yeah, we nailed down all these type of things. When we talk with the prosecution, we're just like, let's make sure that we've checked bank records. Let's make sure that we can define everything that this individual is doing when he was making these trips. And when you're talking about 23 trips, can a person make a perfect backstory every single time they're driving out there? Sure, some days you can go to Winco and pick up a 6-pack and some potato chips or milk or whatever, but it takes true discipline to do it every single time. And I know mistakes were made, and people think he was smart, and it doesn't matter. The days of making a perfect crime, they're over. You can't do it. There's just too many sensories. I mean, every camera is a sensor. Every car on the road, every single year we get, there's more and more cars with cameras. You see all these morons that are keying Teslas. What kind of idiot doesn't realize Teslas have cameras on 24/7? That they don't even need the car to be turned on. So when you see stuff like that, that your days of making a crime and not being seen, they're over. And thank God for that, because maybe people can just get over it and treat each other good and stop trying to cut out corners and trying to I mean, it's very rare that you get some individual who thinks he's got visions of grandeur so much that they think that they can decide when people live and die. I mean, that's a psychopath. That's somebody who's, or it's just got a death wish, and he wants to go out and be famous off of what his actions are rather than who he is. So I think you had that place stacked out, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's seen something that night that made him decide that he had to do it. He had to build up. And I think there was multiple times he went there and he thought it was going to be the night. And he got frustrated because there was a party or there were some people there and he wasn't allowed to do it. So he made a rash decision. He rushed himself and he went and did it. And, like I said, he's not as smart as he thinks he is. None of us are as smart as we think we are. If we think we can get away with it, and a whole community is not going to be able to figure out that we're involved.
Yeah, 100%. You mentioned the 23 times that he was around that place. In the
23
documents,
times. 23 times, guys. Holy crap. What did we hear? We didn't never
drove
hear.
past that house 23 times in 23 days because I drove. I'm telling you, it's easy to do unless he went right there to the house and they got him at the house itself. If they're tracking his cell phone, I went by that house all the time because of the cell towers. That's what I want to see, those documents. That's the ones I want to see in court to show me he was there.
That makes sense. Yeah.
I agree with it. I agree with that. All right, here we go, guys.
Verifies or clarifies that on these occasions, these 23 times, that he was within 100 meters, and it was between the hours of 10 p.m. and 4 a.m. Not when majority of your shopping is done, and there's not a store within 100 meters of the victim's residence.
Okay, that makes
You
a
know,
difference.
you also mentioned that maybe perhaps he was out there with his phone off. The documents only bring up to November 17th. You know, I don't know if you know or not, but I think that if Kaylee was maybe perhaps the subject of the target there, maybe there'd be some sort of correspondence there with the times that he was in the area with his phone off, but the nights that he went with his phone off was also the times that Kaylee may have been in town. If those days correspond together, then that might be something that really points in that direction. Back early on, you'd mentioned that injuries didn't match. A lot of people have speculated what you meant by that, including myself. I still don't know the answer. Would you mind explaining what you meant by that?
I'm careful with it because throughout this whole investigation, there were things that we found out on our own, and there was things that they shared with us, and that was one of the things that we kind of found out on our own. So I did share a little bit, and usually when I do share things, it's things that I didn't give my word that I wouldn't share it. It's hard to describe. I don't want to go too far down, but I like how I said there. We talked to Mabbit, and she basically said that they were in the bed together. They had passed away, but she's seen markings and damages that made her suspect that that there was more to what had happened to them in that bedroom. So, I mean, I'll say he struck my daughter. I'll give that out. He punched her, and so for all those people who think he's a great guy, now he punched my daughter right in the face. So yeah, he's got some shit coming to him. We're coming for him. That's one thing that was a little bit different. There's more to it, but
Oh hell, I'm concerned. I'm very concerned that once again you remember I brought up about when what's her name? I always forget her. Annie Elise come out. I almost want to go back and find that now, guys. Go back and find that letter, because the lady that gave that information to Annie Elise claimed that her sister's husband was an FBI officer, and that was how she had that information. Remember that, guys? There's more.
Mhm.
According to Annie Elise post and what that girl said, remember Ethan's wounds were his legs were slashed, and like which is what I always thought. Like if that how would he get Ethan down would be to maybe he cut his leg. Oh, trigger warning. I know it's bad. But yes, I think that girl might have been right. I want to go back and find that. This is awful. Excuse me. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know why my throat does that. All right, let's keep going.
I'm gonna have to sit down with make sure that I don't say something that is gonna play into the case and tie anybody's hands.
Understood. Yeah, we definitely don't want to, and I don't mean any disrespect either by the question, and I hope it's not too much. I've never wanted to ask yourself or anybody anything about the injuries or the severity. My thoughts had always been that obviously there would have to be a first person that he'd attack, and we'd probably have more of a surprise, and then a second person that he might have to act a little bit more quickly. But it sounds like it could be even more than that. Which is it's the whole thing is sad, and I apologize, and I'm sorry for your loss. And so, you mentioned that law enforcement, they were open with you in the beginning, and then at a certain point they stopped. Was there ever a time when they may have told you that they believed that the person who committed this crime was outside of her circle, a stranger, so to speak?
Yeah, very early on they talked about they being the FBI. So we have an FBI satellite in the location right here in Coeur d'Alene. So we went down there and they laid out a profile for us. Said we wouldn't be surprised if this individual picked this community on purpose, because I guess they knew by the crime scene that this was a planned out event. There wasn't. They would know how something would look like if it's, like a domestic violence type thing. It's going to look different than a crime where somebody sneaks in, gets to the people, kills them, and then gets out and doesn't leave a bunch of evidence, a bunch of blood trails out, and all that type of stuff. So early on, they said that they think that this individual picked this community, they wouldn't be surprised if he was on hugging the border of Washington. He was on the Washington side. There was I think a Lewis and Clark murder case that was 5 victims, and they never figured out who it was. So if this person was studying law, they may have known that this community had already had a serial killer come into their area, and then they got away with it. So that, and if this person wanted to go to a college and go get, education, then, he had 2 colleges to pick from. And he was also going to an area that didn't have a history of always catching their serial killers. So I think they had identified that 100%. And they went down some scenarios of like what this person would probably behave like, what they would do, what their profile was. And the thing is, between the FBI, the state police, and my own investigation and investigator, and just having a presence online with all these kids that could reach out to us and talk to us, we found out a lot of information pretty early on. And I think maybe law enforcement was scared to have somebody who was that in tune with what was going on. We knew about the chief before it ever came forward. We knew about the white car day one. They were like, they're looking for a white car. We didn't come out and tell anyone that because we didn't want people flooding us with fake clues. That was one reason why we never even gave out some of the details on Kaylee, because we'd have people that say, oh, I know who did it, and this is how it went down. So then we'd say, well, what happened to Kaylee? And they could never, obviously they couldn't tell us what those details were. So we were doing the same thing that officers do. You keep some exclusive information back so you can vet people that are trying to be a snitch or an informant, or they're trying to leverage, like, hey, I'm going to tell you this stuff about what this other guy did so I can get out of jail, or I can things like that. So we went through some of that, and but I think when we were accurate and we had that information, there was definitely, I know individuals looked us up and said, how are you guys coming to this info? How are you guys getting this stuff? And maybe it was just luck, maybe it was determination. And I feel like there was times I worked on this case 10 hours a day, 7 days a week. So we figured some stuff out, and that can definitely intimidate people, especially for a person who's, I told them right off the beginning, you're not going to gag me. You're not going to silence me. I'm not going to play a part in helping the person who killed my daughter. I'm going to do everything in my path to make sure that I play a role, that this guy is killed and held 100% accountable to the fullest extent of the law, directly because he chose my family.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah, 100%. As a father myself, and if I was really hope that, and I was in your situation, I'd probably be in the same boat, my man. Doing everything I possibly can, having as much attention as I possibly can get before it turns into like some sort of cold case. Because I can fairly positively say that that may have been a fear at one point, that they weren't going to catch this guy?
My work is easy because I use ClickUp. Here's how I keep track of all my tasks. I start by brain dumping everything I need to get done in a list view. Next, I set a priority and a due date to keep things on track. I create custom statuses to organize my progress exactly how I want it. I like to add the action items field so AI can show me the next steps. I add my teammates as watchers so they're in the loop. ClickUp makes work easy, from personal projects to running a multi-billion-dollar company. Click the link below to create your workspace for free.
At this point, even our grandma is using Pi ad block. What's your excuse? Let me lay it out for you. Pi is a free.
Yeah. I mean, we all hear about the truck driver or, the rambling guy who just comes through your town. You know how hard it is when somebody who's doesn't have any connections to your community. And this individual didn't have any he didn't have a history. He was just moved out there. Mm-hmm. So those are the hardest cases. I've become very obsessed with working with legislators over this, because I'm like, something long-standing that we can do to help these children, this happened to them, is we can pass some laws that can help, make it harder for somebody to come into our community and do something like this again. And one that's always been in the back of my mind, I've never worked on it, was just registering like truckers. If you're going to be an interstate trucker, you probably should have your fingerprints or something done into a system where, just because there's just so much, it's impossible to ask a local police officer to investigate some guy who comes into your community for a couple hours and you're never going to see him again.
Yeah, 100%. The defense has brought up that they have a full of alternate suspects, and I know they have some blood on a handrail, and I know they have some other persons that they might look at, maybe perhaps an incident that may or may not have occurred at Signakai. I don't know if it did or didn't. Have you heard anything about that situation, or is that just all rumored?
It's all rumored BS. I mean, he was with his sister, man. These kids are so good. I mean, he was being his little date for his sister. I mean, wow. I mean, you see so many brothers and sisters fight and they can't stand each other. And these guys were, she was inviting him over for like a dance to be around her brother. So it just goes to show how close these kids were. But yeah, I haven't heard no real, any truth to any of that.
Another person that I think that the defense might look at it is Jack. And a lot of reason might be just because he was with the girls that night at the corner club. He was the person that was getting phone calls. A lot of people still suspect that those phone calls may have been somebody else, without going into any details, because that's their business. But did you hear any voicemails, or was it just text messages? Was there like proof of life at the time when those voicemails or calls were left?
The phone stuff was investigated by Christy and Olivia, so I wasn't around when they actually got into those things. I seen some of the screen captures, but I'm trying to help people understand how we know for a fact that Jack's not involved. There is the whole cast went into that neighborhood, and people are going to understand that cast detail is, though we didn't get some of the timing records, there's still a lot of information there that they did get. And Jack is one of the people where they did get the timing records, which lets you go within feet. Mm-hmm. So they knew when Jack's phone was moving when he was in his bed, sleeping and moving around, whether that was under his pillow or it was on his blankets or whatever, moving around. So they have a absolute certainty where Jack was that night. And there's surveillance that was going on around there that lets them know. I mean, of course, he could sneak up in the attic and go through the crawl space. You could always, you could do these YouTube crazy scenarios where he got out of the house without triggering any of the surveillance that they had. But realistically, they know exactly where he was. Now, is he going to be an alternative suspect? Or hopefully they don't put him through that. But if he does, he'll be coming into that courtroom with us right by his side, and he'll probably be staying over at our house at our Airbnb. So,
how's he doing?
Yeah, it's a waste of time, but she can only have certain kinds of suspects. These suspects have to play a part. They have to have some kind of evidence of being in that house. And a house with 6 different girls, there's going to be a lot of suspects. That qualifies a lot of people that could justifiably be in that home. So that's what she's going to do. But I go back to my Idaho community and some of the things that I've already heard grand jury members talk about and hear and speak, whether it was Plum or some of the other people that recorded some of the things. They said, these guys aren't stupid. These women aren't stupid. They know a suspect when they see one. I remember one of the greatest questions that one of them asked was, I think they said they asked the judge to verify if he ever had a fishing or a hunting license since he bought the K-bar, since it was delivered to his house. And he did. But that just goes to show that how intelligent these guys are. They're thinking it through, like, what reason would a guy have if he's not in the military? These guys out here are outdoorsmen. They know why you would have one of those. The K-bar is a military weapon to keep you, to fight other men. Really, that's what it's for. So you could be a moron and use it for filleting fish, but they wanted to rule that out. And maybe you're using it for hunting. You don't really know too much about hunting and the type of knives that most hunters use. But these guys are on top of it. And I think if he thinks he picked the right community, a bunch of dumb hillbillies, he's really in for a rude awakening.
Oh yeah, 100%. How is Jack doing? Is Murphy? Is he with Murphy? Is Murphy with Jack?
Yeah, they go camping. They do a lot of outdoor stuff. From what he said to us, we're hoping to do some fishing trips out here. We go into Montana. There's some lakes out that are pretty remote with some huge big old rainbow trout. So,
Nice.
yeah, we'll plan something. We'll do something with him this summer, and every year he's out there doing something in the mountains out on these. We call them logging roads. They're just dirt roads that take you out in the middle of nowhere, and you can get away from it. I know he's going to be very stressed out. He's a very quiet kid. I mean, if you could look at somebody who would be like the least temperament to ever pull a crime like this off, it would be Jack. I mean, Jack is. Yeah. I mean, Kaylee, they've been dating for 8 years, I think, and she said he had never even raised his voice to her. He had never ever insulted her in any fashion. They'd broken up for a while, and she went out with another guy, and he was so rude to her, and she was like, basically being around this guy in an hour, he had insulted me more than Jack had in 8 years. So she was like, I might not ever find another Jack again. I mean, that was her exact words to her mom. So I have no worries that they'll do that. I don't think it's fair, and I don't think it'll go anywhere.
Yeah, well, let him know that he'll be in my thoughts and prayers as long as with you and your family as well. Now, Brian Cover gets arrested. How did you find out about his arrest? When did you find out about his arrest?
They called Shannon Gray, our lawyer, right away, as soon as before us, and they probably gave him like a rundown of the situation and how much they could say, and some paperwork that came along with it in an email. And so then he called us and he shared with us and said, hey, they've arrested a guy. Here's his name. Here's his background. There's a message that I sent you guys with some PDFs, some I think it was the affidavit and a couple other little side notes on there. I mean, it might have been some of the stuff from Pennsylvania. I don't remember exactly, but that's how we heard. It went straight to Shannon, then Shannon to us, and then we heard from Karen, and we started kind of just. We were super excited just because the next day we had a celebration of life, and we basically prayed that this person would be caught and we wouldn't have to go through that celebration of life thinking that this creep would be trying to be there among us and try to blend in.
I do gotta say that stuck out to me too. How quickly after the celebration of life an arrest was made. It was almost still. I wonder if that they did that intentionally. What do y'all think? Because it was like right after that.
Could have been. Yeah.
Could have been an act of God. I don't know.
Hang on a second. Drop my pen. Yeah, they did the celebration of life, and then it was like right after that, boom. Remember that because or which one was? Well, maybe I'm mixing it up, guys. Which one was it where I thought Steve looked at Jack with anger, but it was a misconception.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about that.
Well, I think that it was hey Ivy League. Was it Ivy? I'm trying to remember. Wasn't the celebration of life where we were talking about how I thought he mean mugged Jack, but he didn't? And was that before or after the
I don't remember, Brittany. I'm trying to think. I don't know.
I want to say the university had a I thought so, Angels. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I was right. They had it, and then it was like sometime after that, he was arrested. Okay. Okay. All right, here we go. Thank you, guys.
And get some kind of satisfaction by watching us all suffering.
Yeah. I didn't know it was that much earlier before the celebration of life. I'm assuming the first thing that you're doing is researching this guy, and there's something called the Andrew Garrett discovery. Are you familiar with it?
I sure am. Yeah.
And it sure does seem like you guys were on the same page as far as the possibility of a social media account potentially belonging to Brian Koberger, following some of the victims of your daughter and Maddie and Xana. Do you still feel that way, that that's the right profile and that there was some sort of following, at least on the internet, of some sort?
Yeah. It was kind of confusing at the very beginning, and I'm sure it was confusing for the investigators, because I went in there one day with my family, and we were like, what happened to the LinkedIn? Why were you guys into our account? Why did you remove it? And they looked at us like we were from another planet. Eyes bulge, and we could tell they were being completely honest. They were like, we have no idea what you're talking about. Well, we later on figured out and investigated and found out that it was the FBI. So there was two parallel investigations going on at the same time. So I think, and I've been told that the FBI wanted clear lines. Like, you guys are going to be working on this stream of information. We're going to be working on this stream of information. The stalking was one of them. When I had to sit down meetings with those FBI agents, they talked about how it was a 20-year term that they could possibly get if, because I was worried that things, I thought at one particular time, maybe I could have the charges dropped on Kaylee and picked up at the federal level. And then there would be a fail-safe in case something happened at the state level, if any mistakes were made, if anything got thrown out. We were just trying to be that careful. And they basically let me know that they had an investigation that they could still pick up, even if something got messed up. This person was not going to walk free if somebody came out and, heaven forbid, got caught lying, or the Brady, or whatever the different things that can throw evidence out. There was still another investigation that they felt very confident in. That I remember one of the agents saying, "We're the FBI. Do you think that a mass murderer of 4 would be released on a technicality?" And I was like, "I don't know." And they're like, "No. We've sealed, we've looked, we have evidence. This individual will never be free again. 100%. We have the right guy. There's no doubt in our minds. And we can have him at the state level. We can have him at the federal level." So it built my confidence into sticking with the state level, and not. It would have been more expensive. And I literally was at the point where I was like, if it means that we don't ever, Kaylee doesn't ever go to court for her, thing, I would have been fine with that, just to have the backup, just to have the know that if something went wrong. But they were like, no need. This is, I've had individuals that do nothing but capital cases, 100%. That's all they do every single day of their lives, say that this is the strongest case that they've ever worked on. They've never seen a case with this much evidence.
It sure does seem like it. I mean, at this point, it sounds like they have pieced together his entire kill kit, from the math.
Did he just say the strongest case?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he did.
I'm going to play that one more time if y'all don't mind, just 2 seconds. What did I just do? Oh, shoot. Hold on.
That's all they do every single day of their lives, say that this is the strongest case that they've ever worked on. They've never seen a case with this much evidence.
It sure does seem like it. I mean, at this point, it sounds like they have pieced together his entire kill kit, from the mask to the knife to the sheath, the sharpener, the jumpsuit. I wouldn't be surprised if they found Van's shoes somewhere and other types of shoes and booties.
Size 13, right?
Yes, size 13. The judge mentioned something about a gift card as well. I thought that was interesting. As far as the purchase goes, to me, if he did use a gift card, that just shows that he was trying to hide the purchase, and not very well, because he still got it delivered to his house by name. But when you mentioned the FBI, I thought this case could have easily gone to the FBI, given the fact that a lot of that kill kit was purchased in Pennsylvania. He traveled to Washington. If he was doing some following online, one could perceive that some of that following may have been done in Washington. He crossed state lines to go and park at their residence, and for at least on one night for over an hour, between 10 to 4 a.m. Those are all pretty big signs that this could have gone federal. But they went through the state, and from based on what you're telling me, it sounds like they got a strong case against them.
Yeah. One of the reasons that you can make it a federal case is if you conspired. If you're sitting there and you're doing things online, I think I'd have to go back and review the actual provision, but it talks about if you're committing a crime and you're using a computer to do the crime, and that K-bar being ordered there means that he's got premeditation, and he started planning it back there and then went and committed it in another state, and then or relocated to another state from the origins of the crime, and then jumped over to Idaho. So I definitely think it could have qualified for a federal case, and I think they would have. I think there was really a close battle, and there was some back and forth on who was going to take this case over. But there was so much evidence that they were like, let's just let them it is an Idaho thing. Let them have it. And I know one thing that they told me was don't expect the death penalty if it goes federal.
Oh, got you. Yeah, that makes a big difference there.
Yeah, and I 100% wanted the death penalty. So that was one of the biggest reasons why we kept it where it was.
There you go. That makes the biggest difference there for me as well. You know, kind of going back to that night, there's video of a vehicle that's traveling around. There's also a video from another place on Linda Lane that captures also some traveling around. Early on, there was a lot of speculation. Some people still point at this that they can hear things throughout earlier portions of the night. Um, I'm not sure if you have or not, but if you heard any of the audio that may be closer to the victims' homes, do you hear any of those such things? Do you think there may be some sort of play with the audio on some of those footages?
I know the backstory of where that Linda Lane came from, and it was a money grab. It was literally, I know the exact person that went and purchased this thing. And yeah, so they tried to get me to release it or discuss it or bring it up in one of the interviews that I was doing, you know, and it get me to echo some of the things that were on it. So I had some people look at it themselves, and they were like, it's either been the audio has been manipulated, or it's so poor quality that they didn't have any confidence in it. And some of the things that are the times don't match up to the times that I know my daughter was moving and doing and sending taxes and all these different things. So, and plus we had the 1112, I think that is the other surveillance that basically we could hear a lot clearer during the exact same times. So anyone who thinks that they're breaking a case over these cameras and whatever they're hearing, it's kind of naive. It's naive to think that you heard something and everybody's going to throw this investigation off and not and you know overlook something that you found is so amazing. You know, this true crime stuff is it's an eye opener. You know, it sucks to have your daughter's murder be like some form of somebody's like entertainment, you know, and they like to go out there and stir up their followers and make you know narratives that are more like for novels than real life, you know. So it's terrible. And I don't know what I'm going to do if I ever cross one of these people.
Yeah,
I've thought to myself, do I just go to jail? And you know, do I just
not worth it.
But it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard, you know.
Yeah.
And that's not most of them. There's only a few that are like that. I mean, most people are trying to be honest and like you are and you have been. And it does, and I don't even expect you to always be right. You know, we haven't been right every time either. So I just expect people to be honorable and don't purposely spin a narrative that you know in the back of your mind is false, and you just hope that your users never, you know, cross the same information that you found. You know, you go suppress certain things to keep your narrative alive longer. I'm almost positive that there's people doing that because I've seen other people make comments that said, "Hey, this happened at this time. This doesn't follow your scenario," and then they just strike that. You know, that thing's been deleted. You know, they delete it after a certain amount of time. So it tells me that this person isn't after the truth; they're just after, you know, rallying up their followers.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, no, I've seen that. I've seen that in a few different cases where, in different ones too, where this mob just kind of gets out of control, which is one of the things that I really try to go up against here on this channel is to put out there what's correct and accurate versus, and to combat those that are trying to manipulate what is put out there. There's been literally a situation where there was a scenario with the DNA in this case where they were talking about how it doubled up. And the way it was explained to me was as if you had like an audio where you wanted to play an MP4 and an MP3, you had to change it. And so now you have the MP3 and the MP4, but they're both the same thing. And yet on these pro burger channels, they just hear that it doubled it, that they hit the pause button. They don't go into the explanation of why it is. And they leave a huge piece of context out. And that's what we tried to add on here is that context to make sure that everybody understands exactly what's going on. You brought up something interesting. You brought up the 1112 King Road video without going into too many details because I don't want to violate any gag order. But when you have the opportunity to maybe view it or not, is there a distinct time difference between the DoorDasher? Do you see a DoorDash vehicle? And is that vehicle different than the white vehicle that is suspected to be Brian Coburns?
What I seen, yes, it's a different vehicle. The times line up with what the courts have specified. I often wonder if that vehicle crosses paths with the white Elantra. It looks to line up to where they possibly do, and that just make the case even that much stronger. Especially now, I don't the age of that car. I don't know if it would have a camera, and I don't know what. I've never done Uber Eats or any of those type of things, so I don't know what their rules are. If you have to have some way of tracking your vehicle, but yeah, there things. There's certain cameras that are a lot better at detailing what's going on, and they've triangulated all of the cameras together, so they're not relying on just one. And the timing that they do between when it hits one and then goes to another, then they can tell you the speed that it was doing. So that white car was all over that crime scene, and the person had their phone off, which we knew very early on with those FBI saying that we're almost looking more for someone who turned their phone off during these times. That was more of a red flag to them than having a phone on. Now, most of the phones, now, of course, they're going to go through all those people in that area and look for out of area numbers. So if those girls, their numbers weren't as interesting as if somebody that was from, let's say, Montana went through there, that had not shown up ever on all the previous dumps that they weren't just dumping that day. They were putting together all the things. So they were looking for outsiders, and they were also looking for somebody who had turned their phone off. Because what do college students never do? They never turn their phones off. Right. They never. I used to have the exact term on this, but some of the Garretts, some of the people that I've spoken with, Shadow Dragon, there's a hard close. Don't quote me if that's the exact word it is. I'd have to go look at my records, but there's a way that they can identify when a phone's been turned off and how it's been turned off. And they can even tell you if the battery life, what it is. So when this moron turned off his phone, hard turned it off with 90 some plus battery life, and he's sitting in his car driving around, people, you're fools if you think that this is just all coincidence. Here's another coincidence that they're going to be checking on. So how many stargazing apps do you got on that phone? How many you got on there, Bo? Because I don't think you got any. And believe it or not, those are actually pretty popular apps. I was shocked. So the amount of detail that these investigators have done, it's impressive. I mean, these are great, hardworking men. They shouldn't be attacked. They shouldn't be pulled into these conspiracies and all this stuff. I mean, a little bit goes with the job, but this case, I feel like it's taking it to another level. And I just don't think it's fair. I think it's foolish to think that.
When I started drinking warm water to help me lose weight, my friends laughed at me. But when they saw how fast I was changing, they started doing it themselves. Apparently, thousands.
you got Moscow in on some kind of
Aw.
conspiracy, and then you got Washington State, and then you got Idaho State, and then you got the federal. They're all
Hang on
working.
a second. Let me take a minute. Take a minute. Just sit right here. I just saw it. There it is. Benjamin. Benjamin, we have no prosecutors, only social justice D-bags bought and paid for by George Soros. Man. How could I say so much about that? I got a lot I could say. Right you are, Ken. Right you are.
Oh, where do we start? No, we're not going to start tonight on that. We'll be here all night and all day.
Because
And
I could be here with you guys.
All night long. I could say so much right now. Ben, are you trying to crack my conspiratorial side open?
Mhm.
Because you are tempting me. I want to say some things. Thank you. I appreciate that. Sinner says, I don't think Steve would ride with going after the wrong suspect. I think there's little description.
Yeah.
I agree, Sinner.
A lot of people have been ridiculing, the police and the investigators, and Steve has a lot of confidence in them. He's been working hard with them.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of makes me put some more confidence back into it. Because all you hear is what media says, and what do we hear from media? Bunch of crap. Just want to see
All right,
Judge Judy.
let's play a little more of it. I might do part 2. We might play a little bit more and then finish up tomorrow because it's already getting super late.
Working together. I mean, at what point is it just get so ridiculous? But maybe this is what Hollywood's done, is just poison people's minds to where they every movie you watch has a flip and something happens at the very end, and that's what people are expecting in this case, because it's just so obvious. There's so much evidence pointing to one guy. They think that there has to be this curvature, some special ending, but this is real life people, and they got the right person. And there was a time where I was trying to be very open about who it was, but they laid it out in a way that still hasn't came out. There's stuff that is going to literally blow people's mind. Like this jury is going to be like the first one, an hour and a half, and go get him, indict him. He's done.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, people who think that these guys are going to be like sitting for hours stressing out on what argument Anne had. Anne is so desperate right now. It's a joke. She's so desperate that she's using the work that me and my family put together to get all those clues. We did those interviews so all these people would call, and if you see something, say something, and that led to a massive amount of tips. And now she's going through all that stuff, trying to find out somebody that can fit the profile of somebody she can say is an alternative suspect. But thank God Idaho has rules. So otherwise we'd probably be 4 weeks of her just rambling off just nonsense and just trying to overwhelm the jury with just waste time. And I still suspect that, but we won't be playing a part of that. And that's we're a different kind of family, you know. She can say something in court, and then I'll get out of that courtroom and I'll rebut it.
Mhm.
So I'm not here to help her have an easier case. Once that jury's secured in that room, there's nothing I can say on the camera that could ever reach to them. At that point, I'm letting it all out. Everything's coming out, and it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting because there's no holds bars at that point. We can once that jury's been selected, picked, and put into a chamber where they're not going to be watching the media, then you know, I mean, they're so concerned. They're just making up stories like we wore. I never wore anything. None of the G's ever wore any of that. That's why we went back and said, go find it. Go find it. Find some proof. And of course, they backed off of that because they went and checked the cameras. There was no. Yeah. But when I leave that courtroom, I'll put on anything I want, and my family will put on anything they want, and they're not going to control that. So, you know, like I said, we're going to be a family that makes this individual look back and think, you know, if there was one big mistake I made was going after a G, because those guys didn't stop. They just kept coming. They kept coming. And how much easier would have my life been if I didn't have to turn on the TV and only see that guy, you know, pointing out what I did.
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
100%. 100%.
Oh, that breaks my heart for him. You know it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Man. All right, a little more.
You know, as an IT guy, apparently he puts his phone in a VPN when he turns it on at 4:48.
Mm-hmm.
What does that tell you? What is a VPN for those that don't know, and what is somebody trying to accomplish with that?
VPN protects some of your identifiers, and normally on a PC, it's just mainly your IP. They're not nearly what people think they are. So what you could do is, so you're really tough. It's really hard to do this with a cell phone, because a cell phone. Here's the problem with the cell phone is the towers won't communicate with you until you prove that you have a contract to use their services. So what that means is when your phone comes up, goes through a boot order, and it goes out and says, hey, this is my unique identifiers. I'm this person. I'm on AT&T. I'm on Sprint, whatever it is. I got a vial contract, and this it's a certificate on that device says I want to use your tower, and it works. And then you put on a VPN, but that's already told the tower that you're there. Whereas a computer, you can have a VPN start before your internet starts. And then you can go out your internet and totally remain hidden. And so you look like your ISP's number at that point.
Uh-oh.
Oops. There she is.
Dang it. Sorry, guys. I dropped my mouse. And then when I went to go pick it back up, I knocked myself off. His daughter must be proud. Oh, you know it. You know it, Angie. His daughter must be proud. And like he said she was a lot like him. Right? Like even his sister, like that whole family. Yeah, I do need some coffee, Boodlebug. That whole family. Really? Remember it was Olivia, Kaylee's sister, who was the one that actually found the grub truck video.
Yep.
I mean, I'm sorry, I hate to say it. They stomped a mud hole in again in comparison to the investigators of that case. I mean, they just did. They were bound and determined that they were going to find, she was going to find out what happened to her sister. And I mean, so I gotta say the Goncalves family, no matter what, you gotta say that's the family you'd want to have. Mm-hmm. She is a badass sinner. 100%. She was hell bent and determined that they was going to find her. She was going to find her sister.
Spicy pineapple.
Oh, so all right, let me tell you. I'm going to tell Craig about the rat, y'all. So you may not even remember saying this last night because you said it in gist.
Just. Isn't that weird?
Listen,
It's like a Bloody Mary kind of.
you popped in here last night and you were like, those rats crawled out of the basket.
What? I can't remember that.
These bitches have been going on and on all day about how we got a rat infestation, and you're the one that said it.
I even said that because I don't remember that.
Yeah, you did, but you were talking about the kittens.
Oh, the baby cat.
You said those rats crawled. What did you say? Clawed themselves out of the basket.
And it's the fucking little kitten.
And I'm like, y'all twist every fucking thing. Like we own them. We could troll the shit out of them if we wanted to. Like, think about anything you say, they freaking react to it like that. So
you could just make something.
you could, yeah. I thought about it. Let's just troll them. See, he didn't even remember, y'all. Like, that's how stupid this is.
I can't believe how childish grown adults are. It's sad.
Or you've been cheating on me for a whole year.
Must have been with somebody else's dick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, then.
Well, play that back, ladies, over there. Jeez.
What did he say?
I'm repeating it.
He said it must have been with somebody else's.
Yeah. Oh.
Stupid people. I know, Sam. Sam said, don't forget he was with his side piece. Craig, who even are you? With a whole nother life, asshole. Sinners that wait till they find out I'm a city council member. What are you?
I must be jumping in my private jet.
Waka waka.
Y'all, this person emailed me a second time and said, was saying even more stuff like crazy.
The one that's dating Craig?
Yeah. Nana said the one that's dating Craig.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if they all came together and you were like a true crime army and you actually solved mysteries and fucking Scooby Doo and shit?
Oh, those people don't care about they don't care about
I'm
true
just saying,
crime.
like what it could be versus what they want it to be. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If you all came together, like you could fucking find missing children and shit. You
Amen,
as
Craig.
much effort as they put in trying to fuck you, I shouldn't say the F word, but you get what I mean? If they put that much effort into actually finding missing children, they could be fucking heroes. But instead, they want to be zeros.
Amen.
Do something productive with your life. You don't have long.
And my son Craig,
most people
everybody.
die by 70. And you're wasting your time making up imaginary shit like a little child in elementary school, man. What are the people going to say when you're gone?
Mm-hmm.
How do you want to be remembered? Do you want to waste your entire life being just an asshole?
Right, and I think this person,
They give up on themselves. They hate themselves. They give up on themselves, and that's the problem. And then they want to, reflect that on you because you're happy or happier than them. I can't remember where I got it from, but somebody said a long time ago, like, be careful, letting people see you smile and being happy in front of people because that's what they hate the most.
Mm-hmm.
So don't pretend like if you're not happy, don't over project because it's not going to come back good. They're going to see you smiling and they're going to want to fucking take everything you got.
Yep.
Just because you're happy and they're not. Jealousy. It's extremely powerful. Everybody talks about the devil's lies, but I think jealousy is just as powerful as his lies. Why did Cain kill Abel? You know what I mean? Was it because somebody told him a lie? No, he was jealous of his brother, right?
Absolutely.
It's always about jealousy. And really, that's what money is. It makes everybody else jealous,
Money is the root of all evil.
So you shouldn't tease jealousy because it's like a fucking rabid bear, It's sad.
They're gonna be running with that tomorrow.
Oh well. They're gonna run.
I said, and my son Craig.
Oh yeah, they'll run with they run with everything.
He is not my son, but I mean, I love him like he is mine.
Ben said, I'm a cat owner. My name is Craig, apparently. Yeah. They accused Ben. They said Ben was Craig giving me super chats like we were funneling money. Like, yeah, and losing 30% of every transaction you make. Hey, Mama T, the OG. The love of money is the root of all evil.
I'd take Craig on as a son.
Yeah,
I'm proud of him.
It goes deeper though. It's jealousy because even if there wasn't money, like Cain and Abel, you know what I mean? It's still jealous. He's jealous of his brother, regardless of money. It's just a means for the devil, like a tool to use jealousy on people.
Yeah.
You know?
Correction, rat owner, Ben. Yeah. Oh my God. People, that was so stupid. That was so stupid.
I just did my rat cat food.
How does that feel that they're just sitting there listening to every single word?
It's
stab you in the back.
It's uncomfortable and weird.
Fame isn't what you thought it'd be, huh?
I ain't fucking famous. They ain't famous. I'm a freaking.
In their world, you are. Don't you think?
I mean,
I think you're famous to them.
No, like I just say, like, you say all these horrible things about me, but bruh, like y'all watch every move. I'm talking about every single move. She said that big back, like she said she played that shit 12 times. You saying that rat shit 12 times. She said she played it. Didn't even, I said, you're not even ashamed you just said that out loud. That you played that 12 times.
I'm embarrassed for him.
Something that Craig mumbled and neither one of us ever even gave a thought after he said it.
When we said that, you were
No, you just kind of were headed upstairs and you poked your head in the doorway or the office and
went in there and you, like every time you see him, you got to pick him up.
you said that those little, how about those rats have already clawed their way out of the basket? And
just opened last week. That's what I was saying.
That's something so small that he said, right? And I didn't even think twice about, you didn't think twice about, and these bitches is over here with their ears to the speakers,
12
playing
times.
it. Let's put it in slow motion. Let's
Oh
play
yeah,
it
they did.
backwards.
Oh, they did.
They did put it in slow motion.
They did put it into slow motion. I promise you.
They transcribed it.
Oh,
You're more famous than I am. When you come in, they really go at like.
I think ever since I got your backup check, They think I'm like an easy target.
I don't know.
But no, they say that nowadays with social media and all this, that there's levels of fame. Like you might be you're not obviously not like, Leonardo DiCaprio or something like that would be extreme fame, But they're saying like once you get 1 million, you're famous, on any social media, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
So like 500,000, you're semi-famous. You see what I'm saying?
I guess so, yeah.
At that point, people start calling you and wanting you to do ads and all this. So, I mean, you're kind of famous at that point.
Sponsors and stuff,
Yeah,
yeah.
you got major fucking company calling your ass. You're kind of famous.
Well,
The
agree.
Poppingtons. The Poppingtons.
You
All
are
right.
famous, Brittany.
No, I ain't famous. Infamous.
In their eyes, you are, because they just
I'm
keep
just saying,
talking about you every day.
early stages that you can get to. It's
Wow, Craig is very intelligent. He makes so much sense in this senseless world. Yeah, I think so too, Shady. What do they call it? I'm a sapiosexual. I'm attracted to intelligence.
I think most women are.
Mm,
Do you want a man who's going to be able to provide and, long term, he's going to, keep
I don't think
bills
most
paid?
women are.
Well,
I don't
mean,
agree with
not
that.
like you are, but
I think a lot of
you
women
want
are.
a man smart enough to pay the bills and keep that roof over their head. You get what I'm saying? You're just extreme.
I like to be able to have a human Google at my fingertips. Mind effing. What do you mean, Sam? Don't they say any publicity is good publicity? I mean, Megan.
That's what I keep telling her.
Oh, I know you weren't, Sinner. I didn't even see you say that. I said it. Sinner, to an extent though, what aren't we infamous? You're pretty infamous too. Or I mean, I don't think I could say I'm famous. That don't even feel right. What is Lefty famous, Sam? I love brain intelligence, Sam, but oh my god. That sounds weird. But I love brain intelligence.
What is that thing over there? Is that a heart?
What? On my
Your little delight thing. What is it called?
this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is that in the middle?
A heart that says I love you.
Is it like a ribbon or a snake?
It's a ribbon. It's just a ribbon.
I don't have my glasses though.
Damn. I got several. Oh, look, I found another one.
A giant bottle.
I keep buying them to try to make myself drink water, and I'm just collecting bottles.
Just drink that splash and what is it? The fruit.
I like that stuff you got upstairs. That Fruito, whatever it's called.
It's actually a little more watered down. So it's a little more refreshing,
Thank you, Ben. Thank you for the super chat. Ben says, I'm having given some amounts of money to friends on YouTube. Would I be noticed had I not? Probably not. Those that accepted it and in turn turned on me, bless you. So those that took the money from you and then turned on you, karma will come back on them, Ben, because that's effed up that they used it. But I can't speak for everybody because obviously I'm only me. But I certainly can tell you, and I think probably judging, if you just judge by what we're doing here in my chat, you definitely would have been noticed by us over here. I mean, think about it. I talk to everybody here. Once you're in my chat for more than 2 or 3 times, you become a regular. certainly you'd been probably just as noticeable as you are now. I can't say for everybody, but well, of course, I'm not going to say anything much more than this. I will tell you privately, I feel like you were used, but I think you know that. I don't think you even need me to tell you that. But I'll tell you this, Ben. Um, your generosity made an impact, where people could see that you are a genuine, certainly a genuinely kind person. My comment has nothing to do with you. I know that. I didn't even take it that way. Not at all. I think I know what you're talking about, though. Maybe I do. Maybe I don't. I don't know. Definitely would have been noticed. Oh, yeah, totally. Mama T says, you talk to me and I'm not a member. Well, I'm hoping to get y'all gifted. Michelle, I thought you said you was in bed like 3 hours ago. I hope that fruit stuff you're talking about has real sugar and not that fake stuff. It has fake sugar, don't it?
Those zero carb waters, I think so.
I think it's got fake sugar, Michelle.
I think the one I like is circulose.
I know people keep telling me all that stuff is so bad for you.
How do you say it?
Circulose, circulose, and aspartame. You shouldn't have to give money to friends to be noticed. No, not at all. I agree with that. Happy Holiday says, I have decided since we are green team, they are the putrid team.
Well, that works for me.
I'll take
And on
it.
that note, good night, ladies.
You going to bed?
I
I'm about
am.
to go too.
Me too.
Cut my hair for me. So long.
Good night, Britt. Love you.
You going to bed too?
Yeah. I'm tired.
All right. I love you.
I love you too. Good night, Craig.
Nana said good night.
Good night.
He said good night.
All right. Night.
Good night. Circulose and aspartame. Center says, I got so mad at a channel for not recognizing my 1 year milestone. It was petty. Or wait a minute, I was petty. After going live, I see how easy it is to miss something. Oh my God, let me tell you. I used to think like, and I try to tell subscribers that too, because I felt that way too. Like I'd go into a chat and the creator wouldn't say hey back to me. And I'd think, well, damn. They just straight slighted me. What did I do? And I would take it personal. And then now that I'm a creator, I get emails all the time where people would be like, I'm leaving your channel. I've said hey to you the past 3 times you were live and you intentionally ignore me. And I know you see me ignore it. I know you see me because you'll say hey to people before my comment and after my comment. I've never even seen the person. Not the first time. But they're convinced that I ignored them. And so now
Why do you need recognition so bad? Aren't you
well, I think once a person gives so much attention to a channel, like if you go to a channel so much, naturally you want to be recognized. I get it. Or especially if you donate. We are pick-me's, Craig. Sam. I don't get mad. I just tag them and copy and paste the comment 2 more times. You do too, Sam. You also I think typing in all caps helps me notice it. You may as well consider yourself famous. They're making you that way. If this is what famous is, shady ex-mother-in-law, I never want to be famous.
Yeah, could you imagine how much worse it gets?
Craig, how do you find the time to juggle women and researching meta glasses? Busy, busy, busy.
I'm related to Santa Claus. You know how he can get all those presents out?
Yeah. You're the Santa pimp.
They taught me some magic spells. Yeah.
I got some. That's wild, man. That they oh God. Britt, don't forget to read your email. Good night, beautiful. Oh, I will. Thank you, Troopers Mom. I will. Gonna be out here all talking like this for attention. Jinxie. In all caps. Oh, please.
I seen a clip the other day where the guy was talking about how when we were kids, Nelly had a Cribs episode.
Oh, yeah. I
And he
remember
had this
Nelly.
really nice place on the lake and all these cars. And the guy was like, "Do you still have that place?" He said, "No, man." He said, "I was the first one on that lake. And after a while, there was no gates. And people started just pulling their boats up to my dock and screaming at my mom." He said, "I had to leave." He said, "I wanted to stay there forever. I love that house." But so he had to leave just because of the people. Can you imagine how much worse it gets?
No, I could not. I could not. Ben said, thank you, Ben, for the super chat again.
Michael Jordan's dad used to live, what is it, near Pembroke or whatever?
Sure.
You ever been up there and drove by it? Like people literally drive by the house all day, every day, just looking at it.
No.
It looks like a old southern plantation with big gates on it and everything. You never been there? I don't know if it's like Pembroke or where, but it's somewhere over there. Like Robinson County. You didn't know that? His dad, he died.
Why in the hell would he live in Robinson County?
From. You know, Michael Jordan.
I knew he's from North Carolina. I didn't know Robinson County.
And then he
I wouldn't even admit that.
Killed. His dad got killed.
Yeah.
They said it was because of his gambling addiction.
Oh,
He owed
shit.
some money and they killed his dad.
Ben George, thank you so much. You did not have to do that. You didn't have to do another membership. Everyone, or not, I said membership, super chat. Every one of you have yourself a great day, week, and year. Be blessed. You ain't leaving, are you?
You know, they already do that to us. Slow down, driving by the house. Could you imagine?
Oh, God,
Literally
don't.
being famous? There'd be a parade in front of the fucking house.
What's Craig's sign, Britt? Is he? No. Craig is a Libra. Libra, right?
I think so, yeah.
Craig's a Libra. He's no. Two of my kids are Geminis though, and my brother. Kendall and Devin are Geminis.
I think mine's the scale.
I could see why you think he's a Gemini though. I think we all get overlooked from time to time.
I'm the tiger on the Chinese zodiac.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a tiger in the sack.
Stop that. Don't say that shit, Craig. God, that's the last thing I need. I think we all get overlooked from time to time. I would hope as adults we could just assume there is no bad intent and move on. If you must say something, email is probably yes, better etiquette versus chat. Yes. And for me, if you just email me, I'll make me aware of it and I'll try to make it right. Yes, you are. When's your birthday again, Ben? Thank you, Sammy's girl, for gifting a membership.
I don't think I could drink too many of those.
You are awesome. Those are what?
Flavor
Yeah, it's weird.
with pineapple.
Thank you so much.
So weird.
If you were gifted a membership, or if you were gifted the membership from Sammy's girl, please tell her thank you and thank you so much.
Are you taking that ivermectin every day?
Not yet, but I'm going to.
I've been taking it every day for like 3-4 days. I'm wondering if you can tell that it's doing any damn thing. You know, somebody said it cures cancers. I don't know if it's all.
Oh no!
You ever heard that?
Hold on a minute. Welcome to the green team.
Are you sure?
Hold on a minute, y'all.
Yeah.
You have to turn it around and make it fun somehow. What's that, shady ex-mother-in-law? Thank you to whomever gifted me a membership. Oh, Wendy, welcome. Well, here, what number? Can do me a favor, guys. What number thumbs up are we at? My birthday is just another day I reject celebration. Why do you reject? Hell, I don't. I make my birthday the whole month of August. I love birthdays. Oh, I just got your email. Happy holidays. No, that's not my picture. But doesn't that just show you how sick these people are? Absolutely effing disgusting. Look, y'all, I ain't even gonna let it bother me. Happy holidays. That's coming from a weirdo who just made who made a merch shirt, a Turtle Island shirt for his channel. That's embarrassing. I dance to the loud music on my birthday. Celebrate tomorrow isn't promised. Exactly.
I think you should make stuffed animals.
Isn't that what kind of stuffed animals?
I don't know, different kinds, like that one, or like that pink one. There's pictures.
Oh, I wish I could do that.
I would sell frogs.
So I'm gonna get a sublimation printer and I need it, and I'm gonna make my own stuff
Iron on shirts.
and cups and keychains and all kinds of other things.
Yeah.
Magnets, pictures, shirts. It's not that much.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think.
You gonna make it yourself, or you gonna get a company to do it?
I'm gonna do it myself.
It might be easier to get somebody else to do it. They're gonna cut into your profit.
Yeah, I just do it myself. Sell it.
But the shirts, it's like advertisement. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Usually, you see old men, they get piles of shirts like that, they just handing them out because it's free advertisement.
Yeah, car decals, newbie, for sure. Craig would help me. I think maybe. He would help. Don't even say that. They'll be like, he don't like her. I went into the chat of every creator I watched on my birthday in December, even here, and said it was my birthday, and I got only one response from another member in the chat. I didn't let it bother me. I didn't tell you happy birthday. Usually I sing happy birthday. No. What's that supposed to mean? I can sing.
I don't know about happy birthday. You don't really try.
Nah, I don't. I'm just shitting you. I can't carry a freaking
in the
tune.
kitchen a few times when you didn't know I was listening.
Oh God.
That was pretty good.
Miss Brittany, I can read between the lines. You just answered my question. About what, Opal Sisk? About what? Uh-oh. Hold on. Let me go up and see what your question was. I hope that's not a bad thing. I love you.
Love you too.
What? What? Megan. Yeah, right. Say what? It's those little tenderloins like we made the other night. You know, you could put like 5 in a tray. Thighs? I forgot I did get a pack of thighs, didn't I? Or didn't I?
That Italian wedding soup, it was the bomb, but it was 30 calories, so I basically cheated on my diet.
Oh Lord, they gonna say you on a diet because you got a new woman. What? You better fix that. Okay. I collect keychains, Brittany. I will have to have a keychain for sure. Oh my goodness, I'll make you whatever kind of keychain you want, Soulshine. I'll make you a couple. You like chicken thighs, Regina? So I gotta tell you that when I get over here and hold Britt's back, Greg. You better come. You better come. Put your hand on my shoulder. Place your hand awkwardly upon me anywhere, like it's like musical chairs or something. Like it's just whatever you do, you got to be touching it. I didn't ask you here. I thank you a message. Oh Lord, hold on. Is it bad or is it good, Opal? Hold on a minute. You asked me in a message? Oh, yeah, it's not Opal. It's not. I didn't even see that, babe. It is not. It is not my leg, but let me tell y'all, he's being an asshole and mocking my yes. I didn't want to say who it was with Craig down here, but yes, Truth is being a jerk and he is mocking cellulitis. Yep. You're always nice to me and you know I'm broke. Rita, I'm broke too, girl. We can be broke together. Baby girl, that would be something I would cherish for life. Oh, gotta have to hold please one for sure. Oh, I would definitely make you one. Oh my goodness, Sam. He booted me out of his chat earlier. What an evil man. Britt, don't say tenderloins and thighs. They'll say you buy expensive steak and poor and you're poor because you buy chicken. I buy I buy chicken thighs because Craig don't like white meat. That's the truth. He says chicken breast is too dry. Two broke bishes. That's okay, Regina. We'll be broke together. If Britt sees it's someone's birthday, it will be acknowledged and usually by the mods and chatters too. I'm sorry that happened, especially if it hurts your feelings. Yes. Yeah, Flowery. Craig can't do nothing. We all know he's 90 years old, uses filters and voice change. I don't even know if you're being serious or not, but that's funny. Oh God. He's totally totally 90. Thighs are the best. I love breast. I didn't like dark meat when I first when Craig and I first started dating. My like growing up my whole life, we ate chicken breast. Like my mom didn't buy dark meat like that. All we had in our house was chicken breast. Like we'd have chicken cutlets or, now every once in a blue moon my mom would fry chicken. And if she fried chicken, she would fry, breast, legs, thighs, but for the most part, like it was always chicken breast at my house. And I never ate dark meat until I met Craig. And when I did, There you Flowery said, I'm just starting rumors for the trash channels. Well, I love it. That's cool. That's funny. Sinner said it would be inappropriate to show a Facebook post of one of the cellulitis gossipers who have been talking all that mess, asking for prayers for a speedy recovery of their cellulitis. Wait a minute. What? Hold on a minute. Hold the front door. Hold on a minute. Sinner, are you telling me that one of those people that are making fun of me from when I had it a couple of years ago, that one of them have it? You can't be serious right now. Asking for a friend, the rules keep changing. Yeah, so let me show y'all this idiot. I can't, and I want to tell you guys I love you. Happy holidays. And Opal sis, thank you guys for respecting me and not saying it in a public chat and actually asking me privately. Thank you ladies for respecting my feelings. That was really sweet of you guys to actually consider how that would make me feel. So, thank you. Look, he took it down, y'all. Look at that. But look, he took the cellulitis foot down, but he still got this up. Look, I think we have a FUPA chat. DJ DoorDash Butterhead calling me fat again. Mm-mm-mm. I mean, the dude is like, for the love of God, pre Turtle Island smokeout, post Turtle Island review. Like, your streams about Turtle, I mean, you stream about Turtle Island. It just, come on now. Unbelievable. Let me find it. I'm gonna show y'all I'm gonna show you what he originally had. Of course, he deleted it. Hold on a second. He made it private like most, exactly like he always does. Like he always does. He's no different than the rest of them. Absolutely crazy. Well, yes, Craig is Mexican from Tijuana. Y'all didn't know. You heard Britt's son speak Spanish. Mamacita. Oh, that's awesome. Soulshine. You can't pick them up with a fork. They fall apart. My grandma and my mom were great cooks and talk. Oh, I need your recipe to know how you do that. The amazing Tiff said you and Craig should write a script and accidentally have an all mic conversation. Troll them. Right? Right, Amazing Tiff? I thought about it. Trolling the crap out of them. Let's see. Oh, I love you too, Opal. All right, guys. Yeah, a hot mic troll session. Do me a favor, guys. Please click that thumbs up if you haven't already. I'm gonna go ahead and head out, but I just saw that Josh is on. He's live. I'm gonna have to actually pick a bone with Mr. Josh. I have not seen him in a hot second. Uh, well, Craig is a black dude. Dark meat. I mean, it's up in the air who Craig is, right? He could be anybody. Marinate the chicken breast in lemon, garlic, and Italian dressing. It comes out juicy and tender. I also make chicken thighs the same. Oh, yum. Sounds delicious. How long do you made them for? Sinner, if you already a doxer, baby, do your thing, baby. Uh-oh, looking at you, Clue. Wait, hold on. Did Clue have cellulitis? Did Clue have cellulitis, Sinner? I haven't. He's been on my. He's come to my channel. Sam. I feel like I haven't. I feel like I haven't seen Josh come into my channel in a while. But did I miss? Do I? Has Josh been coming in here and I haven't seen him? Oh, I was saying I haven't seen him come into my channel. Like I ain't seen him come in my chat in a couple of nights. He been gone. Well, he's got to come over. Yes, ma'am. She. When was this, Sinner? Just my girl says it must be nice walking through life thinking you can walk on water. I ended up with infections in both legs, and after undergoing 2 months of IV antibiotics, hope they wear waders, not exactly just my girls. Exactly. While they sit there and act like they are perfect. And then Queen Bee sitting there saying that, people I got cellulitis from not showering. What? Are you kidding me? Saying that I don't shower, that I spend my whole time on YouTube. Oh, wow. In 2019, she had cellulitis. That I spend my whole so I guess I should ask Clue. Does that mean that so if Clue had cellulitis, did that mean that you didn't shower, Clue? Wow, isn't that the pot calling the kettle black? Why do I always find out these people are hypocrites? Clue had cellulitis. What? Wow. Yes, please email it, Shady. Wow. Wow. Queen Bee hurts people. We don't. Why do what our legs look like matter? Exactly. Big Back was a big baby when it happened to her. Well, how could she sit there and talk about me? I don't understand that. Running her mouth about me and she had it. Wait, I wanted to tell you, I felt so bad. I missed sending Neil a cash app for his birthday. I'm so strapped with mom and these St. Louis trips. No, 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 you don't. No, ma'am. Don't you feel bad about that? You worry about your mama. Neil had a fantastic birthday. Everybody looked out for him, and uh, you were here and you wished him a happy birthday, and that's what matters, and that's what counts. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Please don't. Please don't. I want you to I want you, you know what I mean? Don't worry about that. Big Beck was a big baby when it happened to her. Oh, I know. Or well, I don't know, but I imagine. I don't know why I just said that. I have no clue. I didn't even know she had it. That's wild. Wow. I don't know whose leg that was. She needed all the prayers. Yeah, you know why? Cuz that shit's painful. I cellulitis hurts. It's painful. And my heart goes out to anybody that ever gets it. I don't wish it on my enemy. It is painful. It sucks. It really, really, really hurts. Her leg? It was her leg? That was her leg that Truth put up there? Wow. And that wow. Why would he put her leg up there? Why would what in the hell? All right, give me a second, guys. You gonna make me cry. Never forget your baby's birthday. Don't you feel bad about that? Please don't feel bad about that. That's gonna make me sad. I don't want you to. My babies are they're good. You always look out. I love you. You've always been here. All right, guys. I gotta go. I gotta go head out. But I love you guys. That's how they show they are friends on that side. I know, right? Embarrassing each other. Wow. Ain't that some shit? All right. They besties. All right, guys. I love y'all. Thank you, everybody, for everything. I appreciate you. If you go over to Josh's, let him know that I sent you. Tell him that I said, uh, what's up, stranger? We miss him coming over to the streams. I love you guys. I appreciate all of you. Oh, Drew said it was a Google image. Okay. All right. Well, sweet dreams, everybody. Thank y'all for all you do. I'll see you back here tomorrow. And yeah, I appreciate you guys. Good night, everybody.